What we doing here? Hmm? It's dark lately. It's been dark for a while, but it's dark at the moment, man. I'm seeing some crazy. I don't even know how to word it. What I see, but it's dark. It's dark. All sorts of nonsense. Yeah. Certain females doing all sorts of things for all sorts of quids. Yeah. Trying to get a man out of it. Listen, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. But we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Um, Friday is a serious day if you're a fan of Sean Diddy Combs. For those that don't know, he should be sentenced on Friday. And for those that don't know, I don't know where you've been because, I think Diddy's been in jail for almost a year now. And the charges he was up for, standing against, was crazy to me when I first see it. I'm sure it was to you as well. But the time has finally come. On Friday, he will be sentenced. And I'm going to read through a few pages just to give you a bigger picture of what's going on, because I still find it shocking. Shocking. Like, why is it always the powerful people with the money do the craziest things? Always trying to do new kinky things and seeking new ventures and doing all sorts of madness for all sorts of quids. Yeah? It's crazy. I'm looking on it like, all that money, all that power, boy. No control though. Because I tell you one thing for free. To all my gentlemen out there, you already know this. Some of you know this better than me. Stick to one woman, bro. Stick to one woman. Have a think about that. You get it? One woman, bro. See, when you're chasing multiple women, spending all sorts of quids, hotels, want to fly this one out, want to get this one a bag, and want to do this with that one, and it's a lot of quids, bro. All sorts of quids you're spending still. Could be saving that. Could be investing that. So I say stick to one woman, bro. Because a good woman by your side is going to take you further than you trying to play the field. And it comes with maturity, it comes with age, these things. I'm not going to lie. I'm not really sending this one out there to well, I am actually. Let me take that statement back. To the youngsters, listen, bro. Find one woman and just keep it at home, bro. Save yourself some paper. Do you get what I'm saying? Because for me, I was with the mother of my child for so long that you get to a point where if it's not working out, it's best to just separate ways. Depart. But leave on good terms though if you can, especially if you spent so much time with that person. Like, you know what I'm saying? The mother of my child will always be held in high regard because you're the mother of my child. But she can do what she wants to do. I got my girl. It's life. But it's always nice to try and be respectful. You know what I'm saying? There doesn't have to be no disrespect. But we use the word disrespect to say, this Sean Diddy Combs thing, disrespect. This woman that's been online lately, disrespect. Yeah? Noel Clarke. We're going to get to it. But you know me. You know when I get serious, the board has to come out. You know what I mean? So I just want you to listen to some of the fundamentals in this Diddy case. Because, it's insightful. And then you also got the letter from Cassie. I'm just going to give you what I think of it, my mindset of it. So, we know Diddy's going to be sentenced on Friday, yeah? He's facing up to 20 years in jail for all this kinky stuff that he's been doing. And I want to say, for any woman out there that may seem to be seeing this content as, you know, rude, not appropriate, I don't do this in a distasteful way towards you at all. This is what I'm here to do, you know? But so Diddy, although his defense team is arguing for a much less sentence, now we knew that was going to happen. You got so much paper like that, there's no way you're trying to get the full 20 years. You get what I'm saying? The prosecutors say Diddy deserves at least 11 years in prison. So imagine that. You want to be kinky Combs, yeah? Spending all sorts of quids, and now you're looking at 11 years. Stick to one woman, bro, and just treat her fair, bro. Treat her how she's supposed to be treated. You know, as men, we don't condone the putting hands on females thing. That's never been cool, bro. So cool. And it was over prostitution related charges. Kinky Combs. That is mud. So what Diddy was found guilty of was 2 counts of transportation for engagement in prostitution. What we doing there? You mean to say you got all this butter, Diddy Combs, kinky Combs, and this is what you want to do with all your spreads? That doesn't even sit right with me still. It doesn't make no sense to me, bro. What we doing there? Cheese and bread. So, there are 2 of the charges, yeah? He was cleared of the more serious charges, though. Okay. Let's hold a man accountable of what he's been charged for, you know, not what's alleged. The alleged, though, was sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, just so you know. As defense lawyers argued, these were consensual encounters and part of a swinger's lifestyle. Kinky Combs, you know. The men chose to travel and engage in the activity voluntarily. See, I don't even know what kind of people you got in your WhatsApp group there, you know. I'm just trying to picture it. Imagine you get the message on your WhatsApp and you got your brethren telling you about, yo, dog, link up, swingers thing. You know, you just block him there and then and just go about your day. Simple thing. There's no linking up, my brother. There's no spending all sorts of quids, my brother. It's over, buddy. Yeah? So, swing your way out of it. Defense lawyers said the verdict confirms the women were not vulnerable or exploited or trafficked or sexually assaulted during the freak-offs. Now, you see these kind of words, they upset me, bro. Freak-offs and swingers and... Yeah? What we doing here? This how the rich live. One woman, please. Yeah? Kinky Combs, you know, you're doing way too much, my dog. However, one of the lawyers on Diddy's defense team, remember Brian Still? I don't even know Brian Still, but I think he's a gangster still. The one that was on Young Thug's case. And if you watched it, that was actually insightful watching that case. So big up Brian Still. So Diddy's lead defense lawyer, Mark, I don't even know how to pronounce his surname, Anfilo, explicitly told jurors in his closing argument that the defense wasn't challenging the woman's claims of domestic violence, stating we own it. So remember, they're basically saying, we know Diddy put his hands on Cassie. We're not going to deny that. We're going to own that. Now, you see, for that alone, Kinky Combs, we can't respect that, bro. Just for that alone, you're in the wrong. And I know couples have arguments. It gets heated. But as a man, we're never supposed to put our hands on females. Correct me if I'm wrong. It happened. Oh, if it happened to just be that charge, yeah, of domestic violence, they're saying he would have gone guilty straight away. However, there was other things involved, so he had to fight it. Okay. Diddy's defense team submitted a legal submission to the court calling for the rapper to be jailed for no more than 14 months. So you got the prosecution that want to give you 20 years, but your legal team are asking for 14 months. which would basically be time served. You've been away a year now. So you're basically almost going to walk home. And you see what I'm saying about how money can help you out of certain situations? That's proof of it right there. How you go from a 20-year sentence possibly and get... America's a crazy place when you got money, man. They're saying they didn't grant Diddy bail because the hip-hop mogul's team had failed to show sufficient evidence he is not a flight risk. I hear that. All sorts of paper, all sorts of quids. Get yourself on a PJ and you're out of here. So cited admissions of previous violence made during the trial. Remember when the trial was going on, I think there was threats being made. And all these type of things which would make a court obviously look at that and say, you know what, we can't grant this guy bail. He's a bit of a threat to those that are in question. You know what I'm saying? So that's common sense. Despite being convicted of the prostitution, all sorts of quids and you're getting done for prostitution. Related charges, his lawyers hailed the verdict as a victory, given he was cleared of the more serious allegations. So imagine that. You got your legal team saying, yo, this is a W. We're good. But then you think about the charges, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, you're calling this a W. Now I get it. It is a W in the sense of, cause you're looking at 20, you might be walking home today, but we're forgetting what he's done here. My opinion, innit? It's not cool. I'm not saying a man's supposed to sit down for X amount of years, but you know how that's their job, innit? So when they get their W's, it's a good moment for them. They know it makes them look more credible in the eyes of others. Other people want to hire them. It's more money for them. So I get it. But when I think about all of that, I just think, Diddy, you're living a life that most of us want to live, bro. That 95, 98% of us want to live. But when we hear you living it like that, we're looking at you like, bro, what's going on? Like kinky parties and swingers and... Now, obviously, some people are going to say, look, you're entitled to do what you want. And I hear that, bro. But if that's the case, don't have it coming out into the public, bro. Where it's public knowledge now. We know that we call you Kinky Combs. Yeah? Because you got to live with that, big man. You got kids that are big ages on these things. So how do they feel? That's called Kinky Combs. Now, Cassie's letter. Now, with me not trying to be biased towards it, I do believe that, you know, Cassie's saying from when she was like 19 that this guy was abusing her and doing all sorts. And sometimes it's easier to say, oh, why didn't you walk away from it? But I get that some women just don't have the strength to do that. So they stick in the position. They hope that maybe one day it'll get better. And I can kind of understand it to an extent. But what I don't understand is, you know, if you're being violated, you have to leave. You have to run off if that's what it comes to. You don't go back. You know what I'm saying? But her letter was talking about she was so scared that if she walked free, his first actions will be swift retribution towards me and others who spoke up about his trial. So she's now saying, look, I don't want this guy free. I'm scared. And that's kind of like, you've already gone and given your testament. You've gone to trial. You've said what he's done to you. And as a woman, cool, you're entitled. You're a civilian. Speak your mind. Speak what dark things have happened to you. But you've kind of been found to be lying about certain things because otherwise he would have been charged for everything, right? So you now coming with this letter, it don't sit well with me. Do you know what I mean? Like he's gone to trial. He's been found guilty. These were the charges we found him guilty on. It is what it is now. You've done what you've done, but you're forwarding now with more letters and I don't know. I don't like how that sounds. She's saying that from she was 18, he used to threaten her, make her take substances. He had control of her career. He trapped her. Over a decade of abuse, he groomed her into performing repeated sex acts with hired male sex workers. Again, Kinky Combs, what are you buddy? What are we doing here? I don't know what type of sheets, yeah? I say that in terms of money, yeah? that you're seeing, but this is your woman, your main woman, and this is how you're dealing with her, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man. We got to do so much better than that. But that's the Diddy thing. And I find it interesting because finally Friday we're going to find out what his sentence is. Does he have a career when he comes out, if he was to come out? Do you lot still rock with him if he comes out? Obviously, we know he was never a rapper's rapper, innit? He was just a money man, make people write his verse, give him a hot 16, you know. But let's not act like he didn't put a stamp on the world with his music, though. But does he forward out and what? What, he just hits the ground running? Because I know the women ain't going to be feeling that. Certain men ain't going to be feeling that. Bro, that camera footage of you mashing up Cassie in that corridor, bro, is wild. But it's crazy how we forget things just like that. You know what I'm saying? So he probably will forward out when it's a party all of a sudden. But just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Now moving on to Noel Clarke, because this all ties in with each other, man. It's all got to do with females and man are moving crazy. But the thing with Noel Clarke is he wasn't found guilty of any criminal misconduct. Allegedly, so many women came out and said he done this. He was groping, sexual assault, some of them claimed. In certain sex scenes, he was saying basically, yo, butt naked. And the woman's obviously saying, whoa, like, calm down, buddy. I'm going to cover up our private parts and, yeah? And my man was talking about, listen, I'm paying all sorts of quids. I want to see all sorts of front. Again, I can't agree with that. In the acting world, it sounds dark. You young actresses out there, make sure you got your big bro there on deck with you and your pups is in the corner, man. But he was never found guilty though. All he lost out on was he tried to sue the Guardian paper for what they writ about him. But the judge and the court found it honourable that they was telling the truth. So now he's got to pay like 3 mil court fines. Brazy, 3 mil. A judge ruled that the Guardian's defence of truth and public interest was successful, finding the newspaper articles to be substantially true and ordered Clarke to pay 3 million in legal costs. I'm not going to talk on Michael Ward because he's got an open case. You get what I'm saying? And you know, innocent until proven guilty, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? How many people has this happened to? This ain't no joke thing. It's a serious offence. And women are actually doing that. And obviously not all women, but it happens clearly. We've all seen it today. It's gone viral. But that is a dark woman. She wants revenge because a man denied sleeping with her. What you want over there, man? And big up, who was the gentleman that, what was his name again? Gucci Walker, is it? I think that's the guy who recorded her. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I think he's who recorded her. But salute to him, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, credible piece of work right there. And to the woman in question, chasing, I don't know what you're chasing with that. What, because it makes you feel good? Like, what's the picture we're painting here? That if someone denies sleeping with you, what you need to do is set them up and accuse them of rape. No, you just walk away. It's quite simple. Do you get what I'm saying? I think what we've got to bear in mind here is that, like I said, going back to the beginning, to the brothers, one woman saves you a lot of sheets, a lot of quids, gives you peace too, you know? And to the women, if you feel disrespected over a situation, you don't go and do that to make yourself feel better. You just walk away. It's quite simple, you know? It's the landing, man. Leave it in the comments. You never know what we're going to talk about.
Them ask me where we come from, I've been see me come from. Them ask me where we come from. Them ask me where we come. Them ask me where we Them ask me where we come from, I been see me come from. We with a get big cutlass and a rise. Gonna raise up your flag if I dare, so you come from. Raise up your flag if I dare, so you come from. We put it on the map, make a tape and lock. If you violate the colors of my pussy get shot, yeah, 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 yeah.